Welcome back to another edition of Cape Band today. As always, Erika Brown of the Cricket joins me to catch us up on all things Manchester by the Sea and Essex. Good to see you again, Erika.
Hey Corey, happy summer.
Yeah, I know. June. My God, that happened fast, huh? Yeah,
Nice.
crazy. So, okay, off the top, let's go to the Manchester Historical Museum for a big event.
Yeah, they're kicking off their bicentennial this week at Shark's Mouth with a big event. It's not a big event actually because they had limited the tickets, but it's going to be a lovely event. It's going
100 folks, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's Shark's Mouth. This kicks off sort of the season of them celebrating their 200th, their bicentennial of the Trask House of Abigail Hooper Trask, who you're Nabby, as you're familiar with her.
Yes.
Exactly. So they're kicking it off. But one thing I think is just really interesting, and it's ended up being a little bit of a surprise in the last month. So they didn't plan for it, and yet they're going to take advantage of it this coming Wednesday. They haven't unearthed them. They found them and they were able to acquire two paintings by a local master who actually lived at Shark's Mouth. And it is, and I want to make his name absolutely correct. It's Charles, here we go. Sorry, it's Charles Hopkinton.
Hopkinton.
It's Charles Sidney Hopkinton. I want to get his middle name right. But he's sort of a local, he's known as sort of a local master. He has some paintings of his are at the MFA, so he's legit a local master. And also one of his paintings, Three Dancing Girls, is on permanent display at the Cape Ann Museum. So people might know him from that. Anyway, he actually painted through, in the early 1900s, sort of 1920s, 30s, 40s. He died in 1960, but that's sort of his era. And they were able to acquire, and by they, I mean Matt Genta, the president of the Historical Museum. He's kind of a bird dogger. He kind of looks at auctions and he kind of sniffs around finding things. He was able to find two paintings by Charles Sidney Hopkinton, and he acquired them for the museum, and they're going to be on display for the first time at the party on Wednesday, which is going to be fantastic. I'm sure they still have to be cleaned and gussied up. One of them is of a porch that I believe is at Shark's Mouth, so it's very appropriate that they're going to unveil it then. But that's a big deal. It is a big deal, and good on them for it. I love it.
Yeah, I know Executive Director Bob Booth was super excited to share that info when he got it. So, yeah, that should be a nice event. And congrats on 200 years, right? For the Trask House as well.
Exactly. I mean, it's not the last time you'll hear. I think their big party is going to be in the fall, like maybe
Mm.
September, October at Tux Point. But it's really lovely. They're good for them.
Yeah. All right, Erika, it's graduation season, and also that means prom time as well.
Oh my gosh. I mean, one of my favorite things, I've got sort of a top five list of one of personally my favorite things to do is I love looking at like the pre-prom of all the youths
Yeah. Did you say
in
youth?
all their finery going down to Tux Point to the rotunda to take pictures before they load onto the bus, take their breathalyzers and go off to their prom. But anyway, they descended on Tux Point. I call it the promomenon. It's just, hundreds of kids and their parents. And my favorite thing about that whole thing is that, here are these kids looking beautiful. They're beautiful, and they're looking at themselves, looking like these gorgeous adults in formal attire for the first time in many cases. And then their parents too are just utterly smitten with them. So it happened. They were great. Graduation, great. Baccalaureate, great. So congratulations to the class of 2023.
And you must have great photos too, Erika, right?
I do. I have a lot of great photos, and people should go online to see them. And then, it's a little late, but go look at the Memorial Day photos too. We got a lot from Essex and from Manchester this year at the schools downtown, at the Legions, and at the parks. They're really great. So, and then it includes prom. The prom pictures are great.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, and lastly, we have a lot of retirements coming up soon, and an
Yeah.
important one right off the bat.
Yeah, we have Carol Bender, who is the beloved children's librarian at the Manchester Public Library. She retired, and they had a nice big sort of tea and cake party for her at the library. It was really lovely. And it kind of kicks off, that was kind of last week or week and a half ago. And it kind of prompts two other retirements, which we'll get to before the end of the month. One of them is Pam Thorne is retiring as the town clerk over in Essex. And her time is going to be up at the end of the fiscal year. I think the fiscal year ends, at least in Manchester, on June 30th. And I think it's the same thing with Essex. So her time is done at the end of this month. And then the other one is Jason Cleary, the fire department chief, the fire chief here in Manchester. He's going to be winding down at the end of this month as well. And that one we're going to do a piece on him too, because he deserves the respect of doing a really great job for Manchester. So there you go.
Here you go. Yeah, cheers all around to everybody. Okay, awesome stuff, Erika. We know you're a busy lady and you're off to the next spot, so we'll catch up with you this time next week.
Exactly. Bye, Kory.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.